Hi, this is Jundo. Welcome to Tree Leaf. Just a few days ago here, I gave a talk about how spring had sprung. Spring was here. Well, today spring has gone back to wherever it came from. It is cold. It is wet. A chilling wind is blowing. And every corner of the house seems damp and uninviting. What happened? Well, a few things happened. Like all of life, the weather is constant change. Sometimes sunny, sometimes rainy, sometimes hot, sometimes cold, sometimes just the way we want it, sometimes quite not the way we want it. And as I always say here, the point of our practice is to just be at one with the weather. Not just the weather outside, but the weather that is within, or without. The weather inside you too, right here. And the weather that is all the events of your life, which is not true. There is no border between what's in here and what's out there from our Buddhist perspective. And to a large degree, we make the weather. We usually associate rainy days with being sad and sunny days with being happy. Let the sun shine in. Go away, Mr. Rain Cloud. We think that rainy days are sad and gray, and sunny days are happy. But where does that judgment occur? But right here, your inner weatherman who determines your reaction to events. If you can let the weather be the weather, it will. Let the rain just fall. Let the sunshine, well, shine. If we can see that every drop of falling rain contains all of life, every flower. If we can see the sunshine, it's just the light. It shines down. We can let it all be. Cold days be cold. Hot days be hot. I've posted a koan about doing zazen in that place which is neither cold nor hot. And that is true. That doesn't mean we're not going to shiver on cold days like this, I'll tell you. The Tibetan monks have a practice, I think it's called Tonglun. I hope I pronounced it correctly. My Tibetan's not up to speed. And in it, sitting deep in the Himalayas, they can actually make heat rise within the body. This has been tested at major universities. Harvard did a series of tests on it. And these folks, by raising body temperature, can actually dry wet clothing that has been placed on them. I suppose that's very handy if you are in the freezing Himalayas and don't have an electric stove around. But we Zen monks have a slightly different approach to cold and hot. If you ever go to a Zen monastery on a very hot day, they open the windows. Some of the modern temples, if they have the air conditioner, they switch it on. In the heat, they put the coals on. Hopefully carefully, because most of these temples are wooden buildings. I have been to some very hard session in the winter in the mountains where they'd open the windows and the snow would literally come in through the windows and land on one's shoulder during zazen. That was really tough. But even then, no one was sitting there naked. Our way, according to the Buddha, is not one of physical deprivation. We cover ourselves when we're cold. Ours is a way of moderation, and even though in our sitting we have to learn that we sit with things that are sometimes unpleasant, that's just because life is sometimes unpleasant. Next time you have a toothache or you stub your toe, know that that is just part of life. And some days are just cold and we shiver during zazen. So as you're sitting there cold, shivering, wishing it were warmer, remember the part you have control over is that last one, the wishing it was different. As you're sitting there thinking it's too hot, you're sweating, and you don't like it, remember that the part you have control over is that last part, the I don't like it. Shall we sit with the cold?